everybody's life, if I look at it, I can visualize the energy that's in it, that it's being shared so dynamically and intimately with another person. And then I wake up and I don't have that, and I don't feel that, and it makes me feel like something's missing. I'm feeling lonely. I love coffee though. Coffee will always feel like a hug. And I want to set expectations for this video. This is not going to be a prescriptive on I'm feeling lonely, here's how I fix that. But it's also not going to be an I'm feeling lonely, here are all the things that are weighing heavy on my soul. Like, this is not going to just be a purge of a diary entry. My idea with this video is to be really open and honest with you about how I am feeling, but also just being objective about it and understanding what's real, what's not real, what a feeling feels like in my body that I might be inclined to think is A, but is really B. You get the point. Like, I want to just talk about loneliness and what's going on for me right now in my feeling body and in my head in a way that is approachable, that is tender, that isn't super critical or harsh or even honestly overly negative. So let's go. I just woke up. It's a Sunday morning and it's cold. And it's the first day that I woke up and the heater in my apartment was cranked up and I woke up sweating and it's 39 degrees outside and it feels like summer's over. And I love summer. I love being outside and opening the door and it being sunny and hearing the crickets and the cicadas and wanting to just be outside. And right now I woke up and I was like, ooh, it's not that cold. Like, I can still go out and walk and do all this fun stuff, but apartment, recluse. And this is what happens. And I think it's a very natural, normal part of having 4 seasons. At least where I live, there are 4 seasons. You know, it's not always going to feel like summer, and you need to have fall and you need to have winter in order to generate new growth in spring and summer. But it just reminds me, I guess, in this little bittersweet way, of all of the wonderful, beautiful things that I did this summer, all of the weekends spent with friends or outside or going to festivals and traveling, and everybody around you. That's the thing about summer, like everybody who you're surrounded by is equally as happy that it's hot out. And it feels just as promising to everybody else. And so there's just so much more energy in the way that people show up. And I'm very sensitive to energy. And I miss that, you know, when there's fewer festivals or even just desire across the board for people to want to just go for a walkabout and grab our cameras and go take photos and things like that. It kind of reduces the amount of things that I'd think to do. And so I haven't really seen a lot of my friends in a little while. Like, I've been spending more time with my family and new friends that I'm making at the coffee shop. And I've loved this, right? So in the past, I've talked about this exact thing as being something that I'm so excited for, the opportunity to start new things and to make new friends and to be in different versions of myself. But I think I'm also experiencing the recognition that I have a longing to touch other areas of my life that have been a little bit starved. I haven't seen some of my close friends in a few weeks. We've had plans. It just hasn't been able to work out. And that's okay. This is part of being an adult. This is part of adult living. And so these are the moments when being really honest with yourself about why things just aren't working out is really important, because it says nothing about me. It says nothing about my friends. This is just simply what it means to be 25 and an adult and have friends who are in their mid or late 20s and also have plans and also have things that they need to work around, and being able to hold yourself and say, this is life. It's okay. It's just how it is. My best friend also just moved to Florida a month ago, and so it's not very easy for me to see her at this point. And her and I never hung out every single weekend. We're actually getting even closer now because I was like, you know, Allie, you're far away. We have to just maintain closer contact. We have to keep up our communication. We have to do things to kind of work around the fact that it's not just so easy to call you up and see you on a Sunday morning. But this is the exact kind of day where I'd be like, oh, I haven't seen you in a month, or I haven't seen you in 5 weeks, and I miss you. Let's get together. Let's hang out. And she's not there. And so there's the best friend void. And there's other things like that again, are just natural and normal parts of adulthood, but they have an impact on how I feel. I want to choose this moment right now to also express that while I have this feeling of, I guess, general downness or loneliness, there's this duality that I've never had before, which is here's this heavy, maybe low vibrational feeling, but right alongside of it is the understanding, the comfort, the soothing, really, that I am able to hold that feeling, and that this feeling is not who I am. And in the past, that is something that would happen. I'd wake up and I'd be lonely, or I'd be sad or down, and it would wash over me like a wave, and I wouldn't be able to demarcate what was me and what was that feeling. And so it's just really interesting to be in the heaviness and be able to hold it and say, it's okay. And what a sign of growth, what a sign of healing that I'm able to just say, today's a heavy day. And that feels weird because we're so programmed, I think, to think that feeling heavy or down or low is bad. And it might not feel so great, but it doesn't need to set off, the 5 alarms to get all of our systems going into like, we need to be so concerned because something's not working right. Like, you can just be down, and it can just be a wave that comes and goes if you don't grip, if you don't attach yourself to that feeling and spiral and let it become something bigger than it needs to be. Maybe it just needs to be a momentary feeling of things are down, I'm heavy, but it's okay. We move through that. We get through that, and we'll find joy on the other side. We always do. Now, the other tangential point that I want to make on that is that I do believe there is a clear-cut difference between feeling lonely, like being in loneliness, and simply being in solitude. And I don't know definitionally what the difference is. Actually, let's look it up. Define loneliness. Okay, so loneliness is defined as sadness because one has no friends or company, or of a place, the quality of being unfrequented and remote, isolation. Okay, fair. Maybe I'm not actually lonely after all, because I have friends. Let's define solitude. Define solitude. Okay, solitude, the state or situation of being alone. Check. A lonely or uninhabited place. Okay, that's totally fair. So I guess what this is saying, it's kind of like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square, right? Like, you can be in solitude without feeling lonely. And I think maybe right now, I'm not feeling lonely. I don't feel like I have no friends. I know that I have friends. And actually, in a minute, I'll share what I do to remind myself in these moments that I'm okay, that I'm loved, that I'm seen, that I have my community and my tribe. But they're not here right now. It's been a little while since I've seen all of them. And so I feel a little down. And maybe I'm not actually lonely. Maybe I am just more consciously experiencing the characteristics of my solitude. I don't know, food for thought, right? It almost, if I really drop into it and I really try to get mindful of how I'm feeling right now and what this experience is like, honestly, it's not even sad. I'm trying to be really objective about it. Honestly, even if I was being subjective, like if I just sit down in this feeling, I actually feel really full. I don't feel empty. I don't feel lost. I might feel heavy, but heavy. Think about something that is heavy is not empty. Like, think of a marble, like a lead marble. Would you hold a lead marble and say this is empty? No. And there's almost this comfort in that fullness that I'm experiencing right now, even if it's not bright and light and laughy and frenetic and joyful and exuberant in the ways that, high vibrational, elevated emotions and feelings are. There is just such a fullness, a richness to the capacities and the characteristics of feeling down. And when I sit in that feeling and I honor those characteristics, I actually just feel really present right now. I feel very grounded. And this is also something that I've noticed, that even though it doesn't feel good necessarily to be down or to be sad or to be experiencing loneliness, it is in these times when I'm feeling the heaviest, when I surrender to that low wave and I just accept that I'm feeling a little down, I actually feel so held and I feel so secure. Go back to that concept of groundedness, that heaviness that's pulling you closer to the earth. It just feels good to just sink and say, I'm here today. And I don't feel like I'm free falling. I just feel like I'm on the floor. And the floor really, really, truly can hold me. So when I'm feeling lonely, what personally helps me a lot is I remember all of the people in my life who love me and whom I love. I don't need to text them, but I go down the list. In my head, I will literally be in the kitchen and I'm twiddling my thumbs and I'm like, it's Sunday. I don't have anything to do or anywhere to be really until 2 p.m. What are people in my life doing with their lives? So they all have relationships and they're all busy doing something else and I'm just here by myself. That doesn't feel so good. Instead of getting stuck on that spiral, I'll kind of use that as an opportunity to say, oh yeah, life. My friends are doing things. I have friends. Who are my friends? Who matters to me? And I'll go down the list and I'll say Cole. And then I'll remind myself how I met Cole and why he means so much to me. And then I'll go Kevin and I'll remind myself of Kevin and that he ran a marathon with me and why Kevin means so much to me and that Kevin loves me. And I'm seeing Kevin next weekend, so that's a good thing. And there's another Kevin that I'm meeting that I think we're going to actually get coffee next weekend too. That was a spontaneous and sporadic thing. And so I will literally go down the list of all of the people that I love or that love me. And it's a long list. And I'll remind myself that even if in this moment, temporarily, I'm not feeling like those people are super accessible to me because I haven't seen them and I haven't felt them and I haven't been in their presence for a little bit of time, that the mind is playing a trick on me by saying, you're down, you're lonely, what are these people doing with their lives? That's the ego, my friends. That's the ego that's trying to punish you and make you feel like you should stay down in a way that's unhealthy, that's not prescriptive for a healthy, happier life. And I'll realize wow, I really do have a strong, beautiful community. And something that I could be better at that would also help is communicating with people and saying, I'm feeling a little down today and I'm not trying to escape that, but I haven't seen you in a while, and I haven't seen a bunch of people in a while, actually, and I just miss your company. I texted my brother that yesterday. I didn't get as detailed, but I just said, how are you? How's moving? I miss you, and, I hope to see you soon. And he just texted me right before I started filming this, and I was like, what a fate. What a non-coincidence. And it filled me with joy to just be seen by him and have him say, everything's going great, hope you're well. Maybe you can come see the apartment next week. You know what I mean? So it's finding ways to bridge that gap, to see yourself where you are, to not punish yourself, to not self-flagellate, to not self-loathe, to accept your current feelings, and to do whatever you can to soothe and nurture and hopefully move through them a little bit easier. And these are the times when we should be talking to our friends and we should be leveraging our community, because this is why we have them. We don't just have them for the good times. We have them for the bad too. And it goes both ways. It goes that way for them too. All right, there's another topic in here that is really important to how I'm feeling right now. I do truly feel like it's warranted. It's a full video on why I'm single. But for now, what I'll say is I am happily single. I am learning how to truly love and spend good quality time with myself, take myself on dates, show up, write this memoir, prioritize myself, ask myself, who do I want to be today? What do I want to do today? What versions or aspects of my personality, which layers do I want to tease out and play with today? I love that so much. But every once in a while, and I'll admit that every once in a while is happening a little bit more frequently now. I'll wake up on a day like today where it's Sunday morning and it feels like everybody's life has momentum. My friend Cole just got a dog with his girlfriend. My brother is now moving into his second apartment with his girlfriend. My other friends have been in monogamous, committed relationships for years. My friend Allie just moved to Florida with her boyfriend. Everybody's life, if I look at it, I can visualize the energy that's in it, that it's being shared so dynamically and intimately with another person. And then I wake up and I don't have that. And I don't feel that, and it makes me feel like something's missing. That was so honest of me. Wow, I'm just taking a moment to accept that and feel that. But it's true. It's true in that that's how it's presented to me in my mind. That's how I am creating a story about their lives and what they're doing. And then I think of myself like this when I wake up and I'm down, and my reflex would be to want to see somebody and maybe wake up not next to somebody, but text a lover and say, hey, it's cold. Do you want to go to the diner and get some pancakes and have a cup of coffee? And that would nourish my soul so much, to be in the presence of somebody where I'm just being myself and we get to share a hot cup of coffee. I think food is such a wonderful expression of intimacy. Being able to share a meal with somebody or share a coffee with somebody is so beautiful to me, and that would be something that I would love right now. And then I look at my friends that are all in relationships and they're all doing their thing, and I think, wow, I might be missing something. I kind of am missing something, but I'm not longing for it, except in these moments I am. And I have to remind myself to pause and breathe in these moments and recognize that they happen 1%, maybe 2% of the time. And the way that my life is built right now, it is not built to support a partner. It is not built to withstand the weathered nature of relationships and relationship dynamics and complications and conflict. And I don't want to spend my life energy on another person right now. But it's hard to remember that on a Sunday morning when you're like, wow, it would be so much more fun. I know intellectually that I can't do that thing anymore where I fill my loneliness or I distract my own personal feelings with the joy that I can bring to somebody else. But that joy would be so lovely right now. And I think what I'd probably need to do in these moments is remind myself, like I do with the duality of feeling the heaviness, but also accepting that it's not me, that I can be lonely or feel lonely, be experiencing lonely solitude while also accepting that it's normal. I think what I have to do in these moments that I don't already do is tell myself, what a beautiful visual to imagine myself alongside somebody, to wake up and make a cup of coffee and to drive and pick up a romantic partner or a lover or someone I'm dating and bring them to the diner and just have a cup of coffee and a meal and look in their eyes and hold their hand and feel that love. Let myself, on one hand, have that beautiful visual. And also on this hand, accept the duality of it not being in my life right now. And it not being in my life for a reason. Because love doesn't pass you. And I know that when I meet the next partner that I am destined to be with, it will feel full and rich and not compatible. What's the word, the other word with C? Like when two things work together really well? Oh my God, why is it escaping me? It's not compatibility, it's... Oh, this is driving me so mad. Oh, that's the tip of my tongue feeling. No. Complementary, yes! And I don't even remember what the sentence I was going to feed that word into. Oh, right. The right partner will be complementary to my life, and I won't feel like they're going to take away from my own experience and everything that's important to me. And it might be years before I meet that person because I'm still so impressionable now, and I'm so susceptible to wanting to feel that comfort and that love. And it's not a reflex yet. It's not autonomic for me to just show up and give that to myself yet. It's a practice still. And I think when it's no longer a manual practice, it'll come to me. And I'm okay with being single for now. I think it's what's right for me. And I just need to remind myself that what's right for everybody else around me isn't necessarily right for me. That what I miss in these moments, the stories that I'm creating are beautiful and in many ways factual, but they also have a lot of romanticization and a lot of non-truth in them. And that's okay too. So yeah, this is Musings on My Life. I feel really good right now. Not any less lonely, but I feel really nourished. I feel that same heavy fullness, but it's a little bit lighter, a little bit richer, and a little bit more complex and three-dimensional because of you. Thank you for being a platform for me to share what's on my mind and my heart. Thank you for allowing me to overshare in your presence, and to be seen by you is a great deal of meaning and significance to me. I hope you feel so seen on the receiving end of this or in other areas of your life too. That being said, I'm going to wrap up the video here. I love you, and I'll talk to all of you next week. Bye.